Hey, what is up everybody? Michael Crump back here again talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation Homebrew news and much more. So the first item that we're going to jump into today is that we want to talk about vue-after-free. In case you didn't know, we do have a jailbreak now which automatically will affect things such as PlayStation 4s from version 7.00 all the way up to 13.0. Now with this vue-after-free, there is a userland exploit that will take us all the way up to 13.04, but again, we do not have a kernel exploit past 13.00. Now I will say that when this was originally released, there was a ton of folks that had issues with things like stability and a really bad success rate, but I am pleased to tell you that as of today, a lot of that has gotten much better. So if we jump over here into the releases, we can see that last week vue-after-free 1.4 came out, and really there was all kinds of stable improvements to the net control exploit, standardized shellcode, there was an add built-in AIO fixes by Al-Azif, other things like including time with the logs, stopping input when pressing the jailbreak button, and a few other configuration files that were fixed. And so even with all of these fixes that are coming, there's a couple of new things that we'll talk about here in just a second. Now continuing with vue-after-free, we are seeing a number of these different themes pop up. So here is a PlayStation theme that I found online. I also saw that there was this repo here by ArabPixel called psvue-theming, and this is to inject a custom UI into the PlayStation Vue application using the man-in-the-middle attack. Now if we scroll down into this, we can see that it does state that this is only a design and not an exploit. And what this does feature is a theming system and then built-in menu items for the use of listing menus, key binding, and other things, auto jailbreak, a countdown timer, and then some persistent settings if you want to do those, such as remembering your last use theme. Now with this project, it didn't take long before we started to see Earth Onion talking about, thanks to ArabPixel, we now have theme support for the vue-after-free UI. For those who don't like the UI at all, there will be a light mode, and this will be in the next update, and that theme creators can go ahead and get a start by downloading the action build. Now again, this action build has not yet, at least as the time of this recording, been merged into the main repo. Now going back to the themes, there was also this Artemis PS4 theme that I saw, and really there's quite a bit of these themes starting to pop up. So this is another really neat theme that I'll probably be using, and you should be able to see some videos coming from me out soon on how you can get all of these set up. Now, some other developments that we have already seen with this is that Convoy 2020 has released this video here, which states Vue extended storage, and that I ended up figuring out Vue with extended storage. Vue user is the only one that is fake activated. It'll work with the PSN account too, but not with local users. This gives the same requirements of Netflix and Hack on PS5. Now, if we go ahead and we scroll up here and we go ahead and we play this video here, what we can see is that they're on their main menu, and now you can see the extended storage has been attached, and right there is the Vue application. They're going to go ahead and head back and show you extended storage, and right there is the application where Vue is running onto it. And so there from the extended storage, you could just move that over to your main hard disk drive, and then you wouldn't need the extended storage anymore. So he turns it off here, and of course they would still be able to jailbreak. And right there is the application, and now the jailbreak is currently being ran. So anyways, some still rather interesting developments happening over there with Vue. Now, we're not yet done talking about Vue, as Lappy has created a neat little tool here that will automatically go ahead and copy over the Vue files for you. Now, there is obviously instructions over here in the main vue-after-free, where you can scroll down into this document and you can go through these setup instructions of doing things like manually creating some folders and then copying the download0.dat file into it. Well, if you go ahead and grab Lappy's latest application here, then it will just go ahead and copy those files over for you. So again, another really interesting way to go ahead and make this process much easier, as Vue is going to be the go-to for PlayStation 4 for probably quite some time. And really, with the stability of it and it constantly getting better, there's no real reason to use anything else at this point. Next up, there was an update from Sistro, which came shortly after we had vue-after-free, and that was GoldHEN version 2.4b18.9. And if we scroll down into the Ko-Fi page here, we can see that this release contains support for firmware 13.00, and there is a few things added in the change log. So added support for 13.00, they fixed the MC4 cheat parser, and then they fixed the Linux kernel execution support, and then fixed Orbis toolbox support. So anyways, you definitely would want to use this brand new beta to get support for 13.00 if you are on a later version of the PlayStation 4. Next up, we did see another update to the PlayStation 5, and this one landed us over here on 12.70. Now, in the notes here, all we see is that we've improved system software stability and performance. There was not a mention anywhere here about security or anything of that nature, so we really don't know what all was included in this 12.70, but as always, the best guidance is to not update to this at all, especially if you want to get a jailbreak in the future. Now, I did see a couple of other pretty cool projects that has currently been worked on, and it is called UFS2Tool. And if we go ahead and we scroll down into the project page here, we can see that this is a complete implementation of FreeBSD's commands here for creating, managing, and checking UFS1 and UFS2 file systems, targeting both image files and raw disk devices, and that these work on any platform supported by .NET 8.0. And so the primary use for this is there is a lot of PlayStation 5 games that has thousands of files, and with this you could put these into one file system where you only have to manage and upload one file instead of having thousands of files like such as Astrobot has. Now, this is for Windows because originally this tool would only be usable on a FreeBSD system. So it's kind of nice that somebody has already put some work into doing this. Now, there's actually more than one of these tools that you can use. There is also this one over here from JDROS15 called Dump to UFS GUI. And this creates optimized UFS2 file system images from the game folder. So here is what it looks like, and as you can see, they're just selecting a couple of files here, and then once that happens, they start the process to convert these files, and after it finishes processing, then there is simply these two FFPKG files that they can upload to their system and then play them. So you have a couple of different options in here depending on which one of these that you want to use. Now, just alongside this, EchoStretch did release Dump Installer 1.02 beta, and in this release, we did see that the fake packages support was currently added. And I can tell you right off the bat, This is definitely going to be something that we're going to be having to get used to, at least until we get real fake packages on the PlayStation 5. I think it's a better method of just having one file with all of the files inside of it versus us uploading, hundreds and thousands of files like Astrobot in order to get a game running. Now, there was a few more things that I do want to call out. One of those being that I tweeted about this yesterday, of this thing called ShadowMountPlus for the PlayStation 5. So this is basically where they took Void Whisperer's original Shadow Mount and has really just started building onto it. So this is currently a 1.5 beta 2, and this is a fully automated background auto mounter for jailbroken PlayStation 5 consoles, and it does things like eliminate manual configuration or external tools such as dump runner or items flow, and it automatically detects, mounts, and installs game dumps from both internal and external storage. So as you can see down here, there is a couple of different formats that is supported. So PFS support is experimental. Also, there is exFAT and then the .ffpkg, which is what we're getting used to. And then there is the FFPFS, which is, of course, experimental at this time. So another option for those of you that want to play with this brand new ShadowMountPlus. And the last thing that I will leave you with is that Void Whisperer has obviously moved on and has started working on a new project here called VoidShell. And this basically contains all of the features in ShadowMount with this nice little graphical user interface. So anyways, if you do want to play around with the pre-beta for this, then you absolutely can. All the links are always included in the description. Anyways, I want to thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out!